My name's Austin Woodward. I'm a CPA and one of the co-founders of TaxBit. We're here today to talk about taxes on cryptocurrency, everyone's favorite topic, right? Yeah, well, TaxBit actually really helps the process. It makes taxes a lot more sexy and a lot more interesting and a lot more easy. First, I want to talk about kind of the evolution of TaxBit and how I personally got into cryptocurrency, identified this problem, and helped founded the company. So I was introduced into cryptocurrency early in 2017, so kind of right before the big craze happened, right? Well, I'm a CPA, I'm a finance guy, I've worked in software and finance my whole life, and I've really kind of enjoyed just seeing all the innovation in cryptocurrency, all the cool things that you're able to do with tokenizing assets. I'm a believer in it. I've seen firsthand kind of the problem with traditional finance and the middleman, all those banks taking fees, as well as just the huge lag in timeline it is, sending payments and wires cross-border. It's a big problem out there. So I'm a big believer in cryptocurrency, and I really am a promoter and a fan, and I'm really trying to help move this industry forward. What I don't like is the negative stereotypes that follow the industry of cryptocurrency, it being viewed as shady or unethical, and that's kind of really bugged me. And so for me, there's really one way to move this forward, move the industry forward, and that is complying with government regulations, helping. Let's talk with those regulators. Let's comply, and let's make it easy to comply. To date, it's been kind of difficult, especially when it comes to taxes, and that's kind of the main topic I want to focus on today. So I first ran into the cryptocurrency tax problem last year. I was actually preparing a tax return for a client of mine, and they had a bunch of cryptocurrency transactions. So I asked them to kind of export all of their transactions into Excel for me. You know, they had a wide variety of exchanges, so getting it all into the right format, creating an Excel model to go through all of the cost basis calculations, and then calculating all those gains and losses and filling out the forms. It took me a long time. So much time, in fact, that my hourly rate actually ended up being more than what this client even owed in taxes. That was a problem. At that moment, I knew, okay, software has to automate this. This is a huge opportunity, and one which is going to allow cryptocurrency to move forward and become mainstream and become widely adopted. Well, you couple that with the new tax reform. So many of you have probably heard President Trump in late December of 2017, he signed the biggest tax reform of the last decade. It amended a lot. Specifically, it amended and clarified the rules around cryptocurrency. Effective January 1 of 2018, so this year, every cryptocurrency transaction, so exchanging coins for other coins, those are taxable events. Cryptocurrency is property in the eyes of the IRS. Prior to this year, it was still property, but it was kind of debatable whether or not it was like-kind exchange eligible property. So many people, when they were exchanging a coin for another coin, they were saying, okay, that's a like-kind exchange, we'll defer the taxes until I convert to fiat. Well, the IRS this year, they say, no. If you are gaining money, converting coins from coins, we want our hand on that. And that is a taxable event. Well, those rules are very similar to stocks, so it's kind of the same thing. The only difference is that cryptocurrencies traded much more frequently than stocks, right? You know, stocks are much more of a long-term position. You trade a few times. Cryptocurrency, you're exchanging coins for coins all the time. You really are. You want to get in on the latest and greatest coins, or you want to just kind of reshuffle your portfolio, and the way to do that is keep making these exchanges and exchanges with coins. Well, that's where the tax problem comes in. Tracking all of your basis on every single transaction, figuring out what is your optimized tax method. As some of you may know, it's not as straightforward as that there's one tax rule and that's the one you have to use. There's actually several. There's FIFO, that stands for first in, first out. There's LIFO, last in, first out. There's weighted average, there's HIFO. There's several IRS acceptable tax methods, and there's ways to optimize your tax liability depending on what method you use. So what happened in late last year, I put together the best co-founding team that I could find, and we set out to come and solve this problem, to solve the tax problem on cryptocurrency. So we've been working nonstop and effortlessly on this project, and we're super excited that our beta is now live, and we have a really cool product that is going to be in really good shape come the 2018 tax season. So, you know, that January to April of 2019, we're going to be able to handle any of a cryptocurrency trader's taxes and automate the process for them. Dive in now to kind of how the software works, how we think about how to develop the software in such a user-friendly way where all the complex calculations and stuff on the back end is happening without the user even knowing. And that's really our goal, is to make taxes simple, to take something very complex and make it so easy that anyone can plug in, link up their exchanges, and run their taxes through our software. So we want to automate all the transactions. Going through and manually entering transactions when you always are executing exchanges is not fun. That's not easy to do, and that's what I was doing for this client when I was preparing their tax return. So we've API'd with all the largest exchanges in the world. You've got your Coinbase, your GDAX, Binance, Bittrex, KuCoin, Kraken, all the exchanges, you name them. We're constantly adding new exchanges, and you can go in and you can give view-only API keys. What that allows us to do is it allows us to pull your transactions from those exchanges automatically and on a real-time basis, and we can run your transactions through our tax engine. Our tax engine, that's where all of the complex math on the back end happens. So it will tax optimize your taxes based on whichever tax method you choose, and it will display and recommend different methods for you. From there, you'll be able to see a real-time dashboard of what your estimated taxable gains and losses are. That's not all it actually does. We'll actually go in and calculate your personalized tax rate. So everyone's tax rates vary depending on where you live, your marital status, and what character of the gain you incurred was. So there's different rates if your gain was long-term, if you held the asset for more than a year. There's different rates for if it were a short-term. So we'll go in and we'll characterize it. We'll ask you some basic demographic information about yourself, and then we'll actually provide you an estimate of not only your gains and losses, but what you're going to subsequently owe on those gains and losses come tax season. So it's a really handy software to not be left in the dark. No one wants to find out all at year end that, hey, man, I owe tens of thousands of dollars in taxes, and I didn't even convert to fiat during the year. I was just exchanging and shuffling coins around. That's not fun. So we want to have a user-friendly mobile app on your computer, your tablet, or whatever, where you can constantly log in and say, okay, I executed these trades today. What is the tax impact of those trades? How do I need to plan ahead in order to be able to cover these taxes? In a year like this year, so 2018, where cryptocurrency prices have dropped dramatically from our high in 2017, we'll see how the year finishes here, but it might be a potential to get a tax refund. We're tax experts. So we've got CPAs and tax attorneys on staff. This is all we do and specialize in. We want to make sure our tax software is providing you with the best tax methods and best tax answers possible. So if you have tax losses, there are specific IRS rules on how you can use those losses. You might be able to get a refund this year. And if you hit kind of that threshold of how much you're allowed to deduct in a certain year, well, we're going to hold on to those losses and make sure they're carried forward to next year or into any future years where you're generating taxable gains. You can use those losses and carry them forward. So we're going to be all over that for you, making sure that you're getting the best tax answers possible. That's our job. Let's jump right in and see a live demo of the software. There's no better way to get a feel for it than just to see it firsthand. So at taxbit.com, you'll be able to go and select your plan. As soon as you select your plan, you'll join now, you'll fill in some basic demographic information. The software is going to prompt you to enter in information about your marital status, your state, and your income level. All of that information is confidential. It's stored in the back end. And as I described earlier, it's used in order to calculate your personalized tax rates. So depending on which state you reside in, your marital status, and your income level, your tax rate is going to vary. And also the character of the gain. Is it short-term or long-term? So our software is going to calculate those individualized tax rates for you so you can see what you owe in taxes. After you fill out that information, the software is going to prompt you to link your exchanges. Here in this dummy account, I've got the following exchanges all linked. It's very easy. It's a one-time process. You just link up your exchanges, and then you click on the Home tab, and voila, all of your data is going to pull in, and you're going to be able to see this very nice dashboard with a bunch of information. Here in this trial account, you can see that this tax year that I'm seeing right now is the 2017 tax year. This user has a portfolio value of $8,419. That's their real-time value of all of their crypto right now. Here in this next box is the total taxable gains or losses from this tax year. So you can see kind of what these gains and losses are. Here are your crypto to crypto gains, your crypto to fiat, and then some unrealized gains, and all of those are defined over here. It's really, really intuitive software. There's a lot of information. Your tax liability, so from these gains or losses, this is where your personalized tax rates come in, and your character of your gains or losses. So was it short term? Was it long term? What's the composition by coin of those gains and losses? Really powerful to be able to see all that information. Here on this right, your coin section, you can see the portfolio value, so by coin of what is making up your portfolio. Here are the coins that you have. Here's your recent activity section, so it's going to pull in your latest transactions, and just a lot of cool information to be able to go in and see, okay, what does my tax picture look like? On the My Transactions tab, this is where a lot of power comes in. This is basically your audit trail. You're going to be able to see all of your transactions pulled in via API from any exchange, and you can drill into them. So on December 12th, for example, we traded Ethereum for Litecoin. So let's go take a look at this transaction. Here we traded 0.19 Ethereum for 0.38 Litecoin, and this is where a lot of the audit trail power comes in. If you expand this cost basis tab, you can see that we obtained our basis in Ethereum actually just on this same day at this amount, so $109.40. And then on this day, a little bit later in the day, we traded for Ethereum at $114.70. That was kind of the realized amount that we obtained when we made this trade. So the subsequent gain is $5.30, and then you apply your individualized tax rate to that gain to get $1.86. Also, this was a short-term gain as it was executed on one day. As we kind of look at another example, you can see that the cost basis tracking is really cool because it gets complex. It's not every time that all of your basis was comprised of one transaction. For this example, you can see that our basis was obtained in 2 transactions, that we actually traded more coins than we obtained solely in one transaction. And it might be the case that you expand that cost basis section and see many transactions of different times when you obtain coins. So CPAs love this audit trail. They love to be able to see the exact math behind how the gains were calculated. And it's really intuitive and really simple. So here, if we drill into the My Coins tab, you can see where your coins are being stored. So here on Coinbase, we've got some Bitcoin. We've got some Ether on Coinbase. We've got some Dash on Bittrex. We've got some XRP and some wallets. So it's really nice to be able to see what the value of all of your coins are, as well as where they're being stored. We go back to the Home tab here. And the power of the software comes at tax season. So when you want to do a one-click form generation. So here you can see, just at a click of a button, we will take all of your transactions and start to automate your tax form. So this is a form 8949. It's your sale and disposition of capital assets form. You'll see all of your transactions begin to be filled in line by line. So the date you acquired the coin, the date you disposed of it or exchanged for another coin, what your proceeds were or what the value of what you exchanged for was at the time the transaction took place, what your cost basis was, and then the subsequent gain or loss. So these forms can become very long depending on how many transactions you generate in a year. But at the very bottom, you're going to see the sum total of all of your gains and losses that you're ready to report and file with the IRS. In this case, this is the short-term section, and there was $3,286 of capital gains during the year. Well, these forms, your CPA is going to love you for having this all done. It's going to save you a lot of money in CPA fees. If you don't use a CPA, you just use TurboTax or TaxSlayer or any popular tax filing software, you can export this form straight into CSV format and just be ready to upload it right into your tax filing software. So super easy, super intuitive, very powerful software. So there's a quick demo. All right, so I hope you enjoyed seeing the software. Really, that is just the beginning of what the software is going to look like, even before tax season rolls around in the beginning of kind of January 2019. That is our beta product. Right now, it's fully functioning beta, but we are making drastic improvements each and every week. We're rolling out new integrations with more exchanges. We're tax experts. We have so many ideas of how we can make this the most tax complex but yet user-friendly software out there. So you're constantly going to see new improvements, such as automated withholdings, right? Like what happens if you're triggering tons of taxes and you want to be able to set aside funds to be able to hold those and remit quarterly withholding payments or quarterly tax forms, estimated taxes. We're going to be able to automate all of that. We're always coming up with the most innovative ideas on how we can make taxes simple for cryptocurrency users. That is our goal and our mission, to progress the cryptocurrency industry by complying with government regulations in an easy way. That's what we do here at TaxBit. So right now, actually, we are in our beta period. We are offering a 100% money back guarantee. If we can't handle your taxes come January, so come the beginning of tax season, you get all of your money back. It's zero risk right now. And there's a 20% beta discount if you go on our website at taxbit.com and sign up. It's 20% off during this beta period. So it's a great deal. Additionally, we have a sponsor, so Digital Currency Con. Their promo code is DCC. If you enter in that code, DCC, at checkout, you'll get an extra 10% off. So that's a great deal right now. You can get 30% off by taking advantage of the DCC code along with the beta period and the 100% money back guarantee. So it's extraordinary. It's a great deal, and we're talking price point of about $150 or so. Before discounts, depending on, it's tiered by your transaction limits, but you can go on the website, look at the pricing, and it's much cheaper than a CPA. That's 1 hour of their time, trust me. I know. This is just the beginning, guys. We're really excited about where we're going with TaxBit. We're going to continue to innovate. We've got products. What you saw there was for your investors and traders. We also have a whole enterprise section where we serve enterprise clients such as broker-dealers and exchanges. They have to send out 1099 forms. Well, that's complex. We'll handle that for them. We've got CPAs reaching out to us. Hey, how can I handle my clients' tax returns in bulk? We've got a CPA product rolling out. So CPA firms can handle all of their clients' cryptocurrency tax forms in a really easy-to-use way. So stay tuned.